G'day, hobbyists, and welcome back to the Hobby Podcast, the podcast where we discuss all things from TCGs to pop culture and passions, everything else in between. As always, I'm your host, Dean Alsop, and I am joined by a very happy Colonel. How are you, brother?
What's happening, Dino? What's happening, hobbyists?
Mate, it's good to be back. The guest episodes are going to start rolling. This is the first of a big segment that we've got coming. So excited for today's episode. But before, I can't help but notice your attire is mildly different today. Is that a Hawthorn scarf?
Mate, we are back. Footy is back. I know by the time this episode drops, it was a few weeks ago, but we versus Swans last night. We're 1-0. What a start.
Sitting on top of the ladder, mate.
Sitting on top of the ladder. It felt good sitting down. I had a beer. I had my pizza. It was like, this is home.
It was a good game of footy, bro. And the Hawks looked good last year, and they've come and said, we are still good this year.
Expectations are extremely high. Will Day came back 3 goals. It was so good to watch, mate.
Yeah.
But that's not all that's happened at the moment. No, there is something that has happened in your collection over the last few weeks that has definitely worth bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
You have made some new purchases and added 2 pretty big cards to your collection.
Yeah. I'm spending too much money, but it's worth every penny. 2 big ones. One to add to my Rayquaza collection, which was the PSA 8 standard poncho, so the green poncho. Last sold was about $3,500, so nice one to sort of put in the PC there. I had one years ago when I started collecting rays the first time, and that was probably one of the ones I missed the most. So it was nice to be able to grab one of them. Hopefully, I'll find the shiny variant over in Japan, which I would have been returned by the time this actually airs as well. So that's exciting. But the biggest one, I was finally, and shout out to my boy Matty Stanley, who I pulled this card for on the very first Whatnot stream. Everybody knows I pulled a Groudon Gold Star from a pack that we sold on that stream, and Matty Stanley bought it, and I pulled him that, and it was unbelievable. And we graded it for him for free. It got a PSA 8, which I thought it would, just because it'd been in the pack so long. It had a little bit of damage on the corners, and not Watsy, but even just Watsy and that early EX era, those cards get hammered by PSA these days anyway. So he's had that card ever since, and I've been trying to buy it off him ever since. He's not a Groudon collector, neither am I, but I will never pull another Gold Star in my life. I mean, I'll be pretty happy if I do, but the chances of that are very unlikely, especially in that moment. First Whatnot stream, 1 pack, bang. I know that the guy that owned that pack, and it sat in his collection since he bought it, or it was bought for him as a kid. It sat in a drawer, so I know the origin of this card. I had to have it, and after months of just trying to rubber arm Matty, he finally sold it to me.
What an awesome story.
So it's back, baby. And I will sell, I would sell everything and anything in my collection before that card goes now.
Yeah.
That's just irreplaceable.
What a memory. Kickstarted the Whatnot journey.
Yeah.
Pulled it for a friend, got it back. It's home. The card is home.
Yeah. So
speaking of home, that's exactly where I will be in the middle of June during Nationals for Flesh and Blood, because your boy did not qualify.
Yeah, we didn't think you would, mate, to be honest. I can speak on behalf of the listeners. They had no faith, just like I did, because we hear about your journeys and your events where you win 1 game out of 7. So it kind of lines up, kind of stacks up. But, hey, it gives you something to work towards next year.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. I mean, firstly, the circuit's really tough here in Australia. There's a lot of players that not only play in their city, but they travel interstate. They also travel overseas to Singapore and New Zealand and Malaysia and get a lot of these points. So if I'm only playing in 4 tournaments out of a possible 40, I'm already behind the 8 ball there. Secondly, they're all really good players.
Yeah.
So I did notice, however, in my last road to Nationals, I went 3 and 4 on the day.
Yep.
And I was playing against some people that weren't part of the normal kind of crew.
Yep.
And felt very in control of the games.
Nice.
So I'm literally playing with some of the best
He's
of the
getting
best.
there.
So I'm getting there. And I had that day I went 3 and 4. I also had 2 losses by one health. Mm-hmm. You start with 40 each. So if it's just a card here or a misplay there, in the games, so pretty proud of where I've come to. But if I am going to take that next step, I definitely need to play more than once a
Definitely
fortnight.
need to be better. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, look, there's a lot going on in our world. There's a lot going on in the hobby, and there's a lot coming in the hobby. And today's guests are friends of ours, but are also the brains behind a massive collectible event coming to the Australian market this year. It is Collectfest. And I'll throw it over to you, Colonel, to introduce the boys, because we've got a lot to cover.
Dino, I'm so excited to welcome our special guest today. If you've been watching the podcast over the last 6 weeks, you would have heard us multiple times reference Collectfest, Collectfest, Collectfest. Our two guests today, we've got Brendan and Jesse joining us from Collectfest. What's going on, fellas?
Hello, gents.
Gents, how are you? Lovely to be here.
Very, very well. Excited to have you guys on. Like Kearnzy said, we've been in echo chamber for Collectfest the last few episodes, and we plan to be, for the next 5 years. So, like I said, I'll send you that invoice, but don't worry about that.
No, give that percentage.
That's it. We are stoked to have you guys on here today. Get to know sort of your collecting journey, get to know your business journey, and then obviously talk about the events that are coming up this year. So on that note, I guess I'll probably go to you first, Brendan, and we'll just ask you a bit more about your hobby and your collecting journey, because I know a bit about your collecting journey. So if you could dive into that and give the listeners a bit of an insight as to Brendan the collector, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, certainly. So my collecting journey started in the 90s. So I was a child of the 90s, 42 now. So getting on in years, and started collecting during that junk wax era. So, ripping Upper Deck, Fleer Ultra, Stadium Club. I was hooked on it back then as a teenager, and then it progressed throughout the years. At the moment, I'm predominantly collecting coins and Pokemon. So a lot of the coins I collect are from the Perth Mint and the Royal Australian Mint. So I often set hunts with those guys with their kind of limited releases. And I absolutely love Japanese Pokemon and have an affinity for Poliwhirl and Lapras out of all things. So
I'm gonna. This is an interesting one, right? Because we've talked about it ourselves before off the podcast. But in that coin space, these treasure hunts, can you elaborate on those? Because that's something that within our hobby that Kearns and I and most of the listeners in the TCG side, treasure hunt doesn't really sort of fit the bill. And I'd love to know more about that to see if maybe we could introduce it. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, look, it's funny you say that, because one of our major partners, Coin Exchange, they're a coin community group, lovely guys, and have supported the show from the get-go. But they are well known for running treasure hunts, I guess, across the city of Melbourne in particular. So what they'll often do is they'll buy a coin of value, often around the kind of 2-3K mark. So it's quite an expensive collectible. Hide it somewhere around the city, and then effectively drip feed their listeners and viewers clues in regards to that. And it often results in a frenzy. So you often have, often hundreds, sometimes, over 1,000 people searching for this coin throughout the city of Melbourne. So it's a really good thing to do, I guess, from a community perspective, for coin collecting. And I think coin collecting in particular, out of I know obviously Pokemon's in the big bull market, and was a major winner out of COVID in particular, when people were looking back at that kind of 90s and early 2000s nostalgia. But I think coins in particular at the moment have really come a long way. So coin collecting, when I started collecting 10, 15 years ago, it was viewed as this kind of stuffy, almost like people were too kind of scared to ask questions on forums in case they were kind of shouted down. But there's been a lot of good advocates for the coin community recently, who really kind of, brought the hobby into the mainstream, and it's really going places.
I mean, 1,000 people hunting this one expensive coin.
Yeah.
Does that generate any kind of chaos? Like, have you seen any sort of like here's an example, right? Like the restocks of Pokemon product that you see at shopping centers, and it's like a frenzy of people running in and knocking each other over and pushing each other out of the way to get it. Does that kind of thing happen in that scenario for this treasure hunt? If like 5 or 6 people rock up at the spot at the same time, like, have you ever seen anything like that?
Well, the ones I've participated in, I've been a bit too slow to get to the finish line, so I definitely haven't seen it. But I'd imagine it might be the case. So, I mean, you could picture, 5 or 6 people getting right to that kind of like that end goal, knowing where the coin is and basically trampling on each other to get it. So, just like we kind of see with Pokemon. So yeah, I could probably imagine that happening.
So you've never won a treasure hunt then?
I've never won a treasure hunt, mate. Like yeah.
Be better, Brendan. Come on, mate. You can do it.
Far too slow. So
your and then the Pokemon, obviously. So you and I discussed have discussed that too. Where sort of, I mean, would you say that more recently, you've kind of come back into that sort of collecting circle? Because I know that you did go pretty hard during COVID. Brendan opened a lot of Evolving Skies, like probably tens of thousands of dollars worth of Evolving Skies.
It was significant, yeah. I was ripping several boxes a week at one point,
which is insane.
Which is insane, yeah. During COVID, chasing all those lovely chase cards. I pretty much got nearly every chase card but the Moonbrian out of all things. I had even a couple of Leafeons and Glaceons. But
if you had to put a number on it, Brendan, how many boxes do you think you opened?
Of Evolving Skies?
Yeah.
I would probably say around maybe about 30 to 40, maybe.
Let's say it was 40
boxes.
If you open 40 boxes, that's $100,000 worth of cards right now.
And do you know what I've sold them for? Significantly less than that straight afterwards.
A foot-long sub with extra cheese.
Pretty much. Like it's and the worst thing is that isn't my biggest regret either. So it's.
What's the biggest one? Does it relate to Bitcoin?
You know what? It would relate to crypto. Yep.
Yeah.
So
we won't dive down that. We won't dive down.
No. So the
hours talking about the crypto.
Yeah, we haven't got enough time for Brendan to talk about crypto.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So,
Brendan, before we move on to Jesse, I just want to touch on the Poliwhirl Lapras. Why are they your two favorites? What appeals? They're obviously both water types.
They're both water types. Yep. It's just the aesthetics of both of them. So I just love Lapras in the Pokemon song. So, when he's kind of like, I think he's got, is it Ash and Pikachu on his back through the water?
Yeah.
And ever since that, I've just become a huge Lapras fan. And Poliwhirl, I know the creator had a soft spot for, and he appeared on the cover of Time magazine back in the 90s. And that's always kind of resonated as well. So just those things from eons ago. That I do love those two in particular. I love Gengar, so I do have a massive soft spot for Gengar as well.
I feel like most do. I feel like most people in the hobby, like if you're not a Gengar direct fan, you've got a soft spot for Gengar. There's something like just mischievous, but like kind of still cute-ish about him because he's so round. I don't know.
And when he got abandoned as well, like that clip, like that broke my heart. So how can you not like Gengar?
Yeah. The breaking of the heart, there was the Lapras episode as well, where Ash's young Lapras got separated from the herd as well. You're like, oh no.
To be fair, if we went back through all the episodes, like every second one breaks your heart, realistically.
Yeah.
Like, even the Butterfree episodes, like this heat.
Oh, the Butterfree one was an Ash released, yeah.
I'm rewatching them all with my 2-year-old at the moment, and like every second episode, he's just adopting like abandoned Pokemon. It's just like, stop! Just stop with my heart.
You know what's funny too is that whole first Indigo series. He never actually wins a badge. He always helps the gym leader do something or stop something, and they just give it to him.
Yeah.
never actually beats a gym leader.
The OG participation award.
Literally. Like it might as well have been a participation ribbon. They just pin it on it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome, Brendan. Thanks for sharing some of your collector's journey. I know how hard it is when you've got multiple hobbies to balance collecting coins and cards, where you kind of prioritize collecting and stuff. That's always difficult. Jesse, what about yourself, mate? What are some of your interests and hobbies, and do you collect anything?
Yeah, I'm a bit more of a sporadic collector. I'm like, my attention span doesn't last long enough for me to go and like dive deep into it. So like I probably like really got the itch when I was like a early teenager, when Pokemon cards were like big in New Zealand. And that was like, I remember distinctly the moment like Pokemon cards got banned from our high school because they were just like, nah, you guys are just feral with this. So that was like where it started. And then like probably a little bit before that, like primary school, did you guys, I don't know if it ever made it over here in Australia, but like Pogs and Tazos.
Oh yeah.
The little, man, those things were like crack for kids. Like it was wild. So that was like my first kind of taste of like collecting stuff. But then I've kind of switched, and this is why like Collectfest is kind of like my dream show, because it's like a little bit of everything. So like getting older, moving to like Nintendo, and I've still got my Nintendo 64 with like all my games still sitting there, and
that's awesome.
Go through cash converters and pick up a new one every now and then. Can't play the thing, it doesn't work, but I'm still collecting all that stuff.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. And then I grew up like in the Michael Jordan era, so I'm a Bulls fan, unfortunately now, but back then it was great. So NBA cards, NBA jerseys, all that sort of stuff is kind of accumulated in my house, and anything Michael Jordan I'm a bit of a sucker for. So it's kind of just along the years, I've got a few sneakers of his, I've got Mischief sneakers and things like that as well. So between Nintendos, jerseys, basketball cards, it's just
you are the walking billboard for Collectfest, realistically. Like who you're aiming it at. Like this. And
it makes it easy to market for, because I'm just like, what do I like?
Yeah.
When your Nintendo did work, what was the go-to game when you were younger? Because for me, Mario Kart was like my go-to when I was younger. Did you have one that you used to smash all the time?
I'd like, not to be like depressing, but like I only had my little brother, so Mario Kart was never fun because like I just beat the crap out of him. So like we never played that very much because he'd pack a sad. So like we'd play Perfect Dark was the last one that I really like went nuts on. But then Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. Did you ever play that one? No one ever knows this game, but it was incredible. Turok, like you used to hunt dinosaurs.
Turok is a suburb, and I swear there's no dinosaurs in Turok.
Wow, this one was awesome. You used to like hunt dinosaurs with crossbows. Like it was completely far-fetched, but wonderful.
That's cool.
And then like Pokemon Stadium was always a good one to like crack out with the brother. But any time I go past cash converters, I can't help myself. Like there's always a Nintendo cartridge in there.
Worth pulling in and having a look. Brendan, did you have a Nintendo growing up, 64, like a game?
Yeah, I'm a bit older than Jesse, so I had a SNES. So Super Nintendo. I actually like I was born in '82, so I remember the Atari that my mum had, and she used to play video games. Like she was would have been in her 20s, and my mum and dad were playing video games in the 80s, so I kind of grew up around those. And then kind of graduated to the NES and then the SNES, which I love the Donkey Kong trilogy on the SNES. I love the RPGs like Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Terranigma, those kind of games.
Yeah.
And then went up to 64, but didn't play that a bunch. So
yeah, I mean, I can't really throw my hat into the ring. Like I never owned a Nintendo 64 growing up. Were
you a PlayStation kid?
Yep. I got the PlayStation
What I
1
hated
when
you.
I was like, when I was, it's a bit rough. When I was like 11, when I was like 11, it's still going on, isn't it? The Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox wars. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. Now I own all of them, right? But growing up, it was a PlayStation kid. So
enjoy Ape Escape and Spyro, like all those.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot,
Bandicoot,
big goated games, like some of the best games ever made. Yeah, those ones. No, I would only play Nintendo at friends' houses. And it was always kind of like you'd go around there and they'd be playing Zelda and it was just slow. And you just have to sit there and watch them go talk to somebody and read a book and go get this. And like they look like they're having fun. But when you're there and you're not playing, I was like, this is boring as. So Pokemon Stadium for me was always the game. I'd be like, take that out, slap that in, let's battle. And obviously
that game rocked.
Mario Kart as well. But yeah, little sidebar. Good old Nintendo. Nintendo's done some good things. They've done some pretty crazy things.
Well, they're about to release that new 4K console this year. It's gonna be sick.
Switch 2. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, they're releasing like the Nintendo 64, but with 4K graphics, all of it.
Oh,
I don't think it's them. I think it's like a third party, but it looks amazing.
No, I did see that, and I wasn't sure if it was them or if it was legit or not. But that'd be pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the Switch too because Nintendo had tried a few things post 64, and nothing had really stuck. The Wii was pretty fun and kind of ahead of its time, but it didn't really stick. And then the Switch did. The Nintendo Switch did.
You just glazed completely over the GameCube. That was like chef kiss for me.
The ugliest purple.
Get out of here. Just get away.
Was like failed. Like, why would you?
I loved it. I loved it so much.
You always want to be different, don't you, Jesse? He's always trying to be alternative.
I glossed over it for a reason because it was literally nothing good happened between 64 and Switch. Like there was no need to cover it, Jesse.
Do you know what? I want to disagree, but I can't even actually think of any games on there that I really loved. Like the Time Splitters 2, and that wasn't even console specific. Like that was it.
I just want to quickly revert back, Jesse. You're a Bulls fan, and you do a bit of collecting across the board. Obviously, we've got Josh Giddey, Aussie, in there. Have you looked at starting to collect some of his stuff? Because since moving from OKC, he's having a phenomenal year at the moment.
Playing well.
And I kind of want to start collecting stuff as just a bit of an Aussie pride thing,
Okay, so I need to tread very lightly here. I am a Kiwi.
We're the same. Here.
Look, it takes a little bit of swallowing of my pride to get behind an Australian sports person, but if anyone's going to do it, it's Giddey. So I have recently, the last few weeks, since it's gotten into the silly end of the season, he's gone bonkers. Him and Basilis? How do you say his name? Matthias. I like going crazy. So yes, I'll probably get a Giddey jersey. I just I've got to get over the supporting the Aussies hump.
It's just a really hard pill to swallow. Takes takes 3/4 of the season and then he's all right.
Yeah. Steven Adams, give me his jersey no matter what team he's on.
I was just about to say that. Everyone buckets us as the same people anyway. Steven Adams, I've considered him one of us because
we always do that.
Stop that. We're not doing that.
Russell Crowe is one of us,
You can have him. That's fine.
Because we take anything good that comes out of New Zealand, we're like, oh yeah, they're Aussie.
Yeah. Pavlova, Steven Adams, Crowded House, all the best things you guys try and steal.
Lamb.
Yeah.
Well, New Zealanders do have a fondness for their sheep, so it's...
All right, next question.
I mean, look, to wrap up that one before we get stuck into more of the business-focused questions, I guess we always like to ask if you had an influence or any sort of particular influence or from a family member or a moment in time that you can remember that kind of kick-started that journey, because we all start somewhere, even if it's just your mum buys you a pack at Coles when you're 6 years old. It's always interesting to see, because some people have some stories and some people it is that simple. So what was the moment or the influence that kind of got you into the hobby?
Yep. For me, oh, you go first.
No, you go first, Jesse.
Oh, that's how sweet of you. My was definitely getting the Nintendo as a kid. I needed every single game. Me and my brother went through it. But then recently, since probably later high school, my best friend Sando, he's he's feral with it. His house is the room of requirement. He has, anytime there's something collectible, he gets me onto it. And he's been a huge part of the drive for me of getting Collectfest up and running, is because he's having a ball just looking at all the announcements for the show. So, yeah, probably him, probably my biggest influence.
I love hearing that. It's one of those things, and I'm sure we'll jump into it later. But when you talk about putting on a show for a target audience and being able to relate with people, when you can draw from experiences like that with someone so close, it's really powerful. So, thanks for sharing that, brother. What about you, Brendan?
For me, it was I was one of those strange kids. I was obsessed with football and the NBA and all that kind of stuff. I started kind of collecting Scanlons because my neighbour did, and then so then in the mid-90s, I'm a massive Knicks fan. Absolutely love the New York Knicks, and started collecting kind of Upper Deck, Fleer Ultra, as I was mentioning before, all those brands of basketball cards in that junk wax era. But yeah, it was my mate, best mate in year 7, who really got me into the NBA cards. So I was always a basketball fan, but he was a basketball tragic and still one of my best mates to this day, and still a basketball tragic. Like, we're on the phone for 2 hours the other night talking about trying to collect every Patrick Ewing card that's ever been, and we worked out there's like 3,600 of them. But yeah, it was definitely him. So we forged a really close friendship and would literally go and buy, tons of packets whenever we got the chance to after school.
Cool. And then I guess the last part is just, what's your favorite piece? What's your favorite piece in your collection, right? Everybody has like a crowning jewel. And sometimes, it's hard to, you get put on the spot because you might have a favorite, but like, I'm putting you on the spot and you got to tell me one.
For me, it's definitely I collect a coin collection called Tiffany Art. So they aren't related to the brand Tiffany or anything like that, nothing to do with them, but these 2-ounce coins, 2-ounce silver coins that are just like, they're just magical when you look at them. So they're limited to 999 a run for each one.
Wow.
And they come out once a year. And generally speaking, they go up like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in value immediately after kind of being released.
Wow.
So if you're lucky to kind of get your hands on one at a cheap price, it's great. But I've kind of went back and tried to collect all of those. But so they would be, I'd say, my favorite piece.
What about you, Jesse?
Can I do 2?
Nah.
Oh, come on. Okay.
No,
then
I prefaced that when I asked you the question.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but like, all
right.
Probably my favorite one is a Fanimation Agent 23 Michael Jordan card. It's like,
yeah,
I love that rain. That with the Larry Bird one. I just love that like comic style. It's just a bit different to like a player on a card kind of thing. I love that card.
I know exactly what card you're talking about too, man. And that's I don't have one, but that's up there for me just in terms of Jordan cards.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, I love it. It looks really, really nice. All right. Well, for people that don't know, you guys are actually with the business Exhibitions and Events Australia. So that is the overarching business, I guess, behind Collectfest, where you guys work. I guess we should probably or kick it off by asking what is the business? I mean, it says it in the name, right? But what is the business, and what are the shows you run outside of Collectfest? Like, we want to get to know the business behind Collectfest before we get to Collectfest.
Yep. Sure. So WEA, short for Exhibitions and Events Australia, has been around for about 15 years, I think, there or thereabouts. Jesse, would that be about right?
I think it's closer to 20 now, yeah.
20, yeah. So we're a company run by a great leader called Jane Ford, who has basically, I guess, given us a green light for Collectfest as well as the funding. But we run the home shows and Mind, Body and Spirit, which are 2 of the biggest consumer shows in the country. I think we run around, I think it's touch over 15 of these nationally, and there's around 300,000 visitors that go to these shows. So they're probably 2 of the 5 biggest consumer shows in the country. We have a full-time team here in Hawthorne of about 35 to 40 who work across our portfolio. And Collectfest is the latest event that we've added to that portfolio.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's kind of why I wanted to lean into it and ask, because, Collectfest is a new name, but the business that you guys are a part of behind Collectfest is not a new name. So it's very important to sort of, get that out there, because I trust you guys wholeheartedly, and we'll get to all the stuff we're working on before that. But when new shows pop up in the space, you just never really know what you're going to get. But the reality is like you said, with the home show and the Mind, Body, Spirit shows, which I know are some of the biggest in our country, you guys run that. So just for the listeners out there, if that doesn't give you confidence about what we're going to see from Collectfest, I don't know what will. But
yeah, it's very much like our kind of base of infrastructure that makes us able to pick this up. Like, we've leaned into this pretty hard, which you wouldn't be able to do without something pretty solid behind you. And we've managed to leverage a lot of those existing event relationships to obviously get the show straight into the big convention centers, get the full scale like exhibitor builds and everything like that. So we're not coming at this half-assed. We're trying to make sure we leverage off what we've already been working with, and just try and tap into a new audience here, which has been very receptive, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome to hear. How long have you guys respectively been with the business for, and what are your roles exactly within that in terms of working on past shows and then your involvement with Collectfest now? So Brendan, we might start with you.
Yeah, sure. So I've been with the business for a couple of years now. I come from an events background, so I was working for companies like Diversified Communications, who are a big event organizer. They run huge trade shows before that, and been in the events industry around 12 years. With EEA, I was the director of the home shows for Melbourne and Sydney. So for about a year or so. And then with Jesse, came up with the idea for Collectfest, pitched it to our owner. It would have been back in January 24. She basically gave us the green light to go and research it and find out a bit more about the industry. And then by May, I think we had launched. So it's about 5 months. So yeah, and now I'm the exhibition director of the show. So yeah,
it's awesome. We're literally talking to the two masterminds that from ground zero, So that makes me feel really good. Very privileged to have you both on the show.
It'll be amazing to look back at this in 4 to 5 years. Like I've said to everybody that's asked me about Collectfest, I'm like, you're asking me about it now and we'll laugh about it in 5 years. Because in my words and my opinion, this is going to be the biggest show that Australia has across the nation, like nationally, for, as many years as these guys can make it work. Just knowing what we know and what we'll cover when we get to Collectfest specifically. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of, I guess, as Jesse mentioned before, just the amount of resources and backing we've been given by the owner. So we've effectively been given free rein to create this vision and bring it to life, which is very rare, particularly in a bigger company like this. So there's usually like a lot of checks and balances. But yeah, we've got a very supportive business here.
That's awesome. And what about yourself, Jesse?
I've been with EEA for 2.5 years now, but previously to that, I worked in media in New Zealand and in Channel 7 over here, and then did a stint in higher education. But I'm the marketing director for Exhbiiton Events Australia, the whole kind of company. Brendan kind of glazed over it a little bit there, but the idea of Collectfest was a bit of it started in like one of our leadership meetings of like, what's an idea that if you had no carte blanche, what would you do? And we were like, well, what about collecting? This is going crazy.
Yeah.
And it started with, all right, you can try one show. And it's been like almost every week we've been like, Jane, it's getting a bit bigger. And then when we launched it, we were like, okay, give it a couple months before we get our first exhibitor on board. We weren't expecting, like, we launched it in May because we thought we'd need all of that time to get people to know what the brand is and start to get people on board. And I think within 6 weeks, we had sold half the floor plan. Like it has gone nuts.
Yeah.
And it feels like a trick, but it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been literally every week. Like Brendan and I have a bit of a love-hate relationship because he keeps coming to my desk every week. He's like, "Oh, Jesse, I got this new thing," and I'm like, "Okay,
every day, yeah,
it's every day. It's every day."
Marketing money. I need more money. I need more money. Do this. Do this.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need to dip into your marketing budget, mate.
Yeah. But no, it's been like Brendan said. Like Jane's been really supportive of the idea, and she's inadvertently become like queen of the nerds in this because it's been like an incredible wave of support from like a community that's I think been like desperate for something of this scale. Everyone we've been talking to, and some of the big companies that we'll talk about later, they've all been sort of waiting in the wings for something to be able to like lift this platform up. So while it's been a lot of hard work and like a job of passion for both Brendan and I, like we've pulled some pretty silly hours trying to get this off the ground. It's been really rewarding throughout this whole process. The likes of you guys jumping on and just getting really excited about it. Even this week, getting a new vintage video game exhibitor on board, and he's like, they're just so excited about it. It's like really hard to not get excited about this when you're like dealing with that community. It's awesome.
I need to echo that as well because we're obviously, Lee and I are pretty entrenched within the collectible community, and the excitement is like evident. You know, it's everybody is excited about it. And if they didn't know about it and we told them about it, then they're excited about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's probably a good time now to really move into, you know, what we're here to really talk about. I mean, it's great to get to know you guys and where you work, but you know, this is Collectfest. So I'll go to you. I want to ask you, Jesse. I'm going to get you to sum up what is Collectfest.
All right. Give my marketing a bit of a run. So we've launched Collectfest as Australia's first festival for all things collectible. So whether it's trading cards, sneakers, coins, stamps, banknotes, sports and memorabilia, video games, and what we're calling beyond, anything that doesn't kind of fit in those categories. We want to just pull the entire community of people that collect stuff under one roof and just kind of celebrate that community, that ideal, that passion for, I guess it comes from nostalgia, like really like latching onto things that we love and we want to like cherish and really bringing that together in one place. And it's really the first time that we've seen a dedicated collectibles event in the major metros in these huge convention centers. So that's the elevator pitch, I guess.
That's a perfect summation.
Yes, nailed it.
You want to hope so? I mean, I did put you in the marketing guy, right? Like that's your job. Like here we go.
It's as a consumer, it really fits the bill of like a perfect product market fit, like perfect market fit. You know, you've said before, like there's no real TCG festivals across Australia. And there's a real hunger there from consumers. You look in like North America, there's something on every weekend, you know, on both like Saturday, Sunday. You could fly around the country. There's a different thing. Here in Australia, with a bit of our smaller like weekend market style, like cons and stuff aren't quite to this scale. And then if you look outside of this into some of those other existing like Comic Cons and stuff like that, this really does sit alone. And it's why there is so much excitement around that.
Yeah. But the idea, I guess, and back to that as well, like those other existing shows, the idea was born out of looking at that market and effectively saying you have Comic-Con and Supernova, which are great shows and they're fantastic products, but they're effectively pop culture shows and very celebrity driven. So they've kind of got that cosplay market, that celebrity market down pat. And then you've obviously got some kind of smaller card shows and whatnot around the country, but yeah, there was a huge gap in the market for a big organizer to come along and effectively band everything together.
Yep, couldn't agree more. After experiencing things like Collecticon myself over in the US, I'd always said that it's the one thing we were missing. We had shows that had essence of what something like Collecticon was. And then you guys have literally just put your hand up and said, hold my beer. And then here we go. Collectfest was born, and it's moving. It's moving. So I guess another good thing to cover is, you mentioned their other shows, celebrities and guests and all that stuff. You guys have a nice list of guests and activations as well, and people that have come on board. So did you want to talk us through, a couple of those, maybe do one each or two each or three each, back and forward, see who wants to talk about which one?
All right. I'll go first on this one. So we, like you said, there are quite a lot of bigger names on board now across the Collectfest shows, which is great. One of them is due to you, Dean. So thank you very much for that, mate. Gary Haas. So King Pokemon coming down to Melbourne, which is obviously a huge get for the event. So to have him, come to the show, he's so well known. He's got such a cult following, such a big following actually. And he's done so much for the hobby, particularly in the last kind of like 5 or 6 years, and really helped elevate the hobby to the point where it is now. So he's one that'll be in Melbourne. We also have a major partner as eBay as well. Who jumped on board recently.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, a great brand to be associated with, and they're just genuinely great people as well at eBay. So
they really are. The Australian contingent for eBay are fantastic to work with. We work with them as well.
They are so excited. It's wonderful. Like we've been talking to them all this week. The stuff they're bringing to the show, I'm like, every exhibitor should be like this. They're incredible. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have some plans that are going to blow people's minds at the show as well with what they've got. And just seeing that, seeing their activation at the planning, it's really going to elevate the show to that next level.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, look, I'm glad you mentioned Gary first, because we're obviously super excited about that. I am disappointed that you didn't say the Hobby Podcast straight off the bat.
Of course, Hobby Podcast as well are going to be there with Gary. So.
Look, we're so excited. Like I told you, Brendan, when I came to you with it, I was like, I've known Gary for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Got a good relationship, and he's said to us on our podcast with me and Kearns and just other times off the cuff that he would really love to come to a show, in Australia. And I hadn't found the one yet, like where I was sort of going, all right, well, I'm going to be the one they're going to lean into. So I want to make sure this works for Gary and it's done right. I don't want him to come down here and it be a horrible experience and not what he wants.
Yeah.
So, when we caught up a couple of times, I think we caught up maybe 2 or 3 times before I even pitched the idea. And then I was like, let's make this happen. And you guys rallied around it and made it happen. And, now it just keeps elevating and elevating. So, we're excited for that. I dare say, knowing Gary and where he's at sort of in life, it might be the only time we get to bring him down to Australia.
Yep. So, no, absolutely. And it's amazing. And once again, that harks back to that community support, like you guys getting behind the show. The show wouldn't be in the position it's in now if we didn't have that wide community support that we do have. So,
yeah, we've really, like, as much as we've worked our butts off, we really couldn't do it without some of the connections and leveraging those relationships that a lot of the guys in the community have. Like Brennan mentioned Coin Central. They're going to run our like coin exchange. They're going to run our Coin Central kind of activation in Melbourne with a bunch of coin, what do you call them, scavenger hunts and noodling, and like it's a whole world that I've never touched on, but it's like they talk about it and their eyes light up and you just get kind of caught up in it. It's wonderful. But we've got in Sydney, we've got Eureka Coins doing a bunch of coin collecting world record attempts. So they've got Guinness coming for that. We've got, even like on the other side of it, we've got like a 3-point contest that we're running with Dream Courts. We've got Brennan's just locked in a retro gaming feature in in Brisbane, is it?
Yeah, Nintendo Down Under. So I don't know if you know him, Nintendo Down Under. He's a huge collector.
Yeah.
Has about 74,000 followers on Insta, and he's coming to Brisbane. He's keen to come to Melbourne and Sydney as well, which we're going to try and make work.
The Nintendo guy, like in Australia, realistically. Yeah.
So he's bringing his like whole collection up. We're shipping that up for Brisbane. We got Whatnot doing a live break station in Melbourne and Sydney. So
I'll be there.
They'll be doing.
I've got a special box that I've saved.
Beautiful.
Obviously, we have another big break that we're doing with you guys, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But Whatnot, obviously, I've got a good relationship with them. We had them on the podcast as well, which you guys sponsored the episode. So, thanks.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Well done. I said to them I think it was on the Sunday, because we're doing our break on the Saturday. On Sunday, I'm going to go to their booth and do like a live stream from there as well, because I believe that's how they have their activations set up, like a couple of live streaming booths, and kind of encourage streamers to go there, or maybe they get new people and show them like this is how you would do it and that. So that'll be fun. That's it's awesome that you guys locked in Whatnot as well, because this year is their year of proper launch. They're still in beta right now. Well, they won't be by the time this actually airs. The official launch party would have already happened. It'll all be happening. So it was. I'm glad that you guys were able to lock in Whatnot too, because they're big.
It's been a name after name. I mean, the last one we got is Unlocked, which is the subscription collectible service. It's like Nick Kyrgios's baby. Yeah. So we're trying to see if we can get Nick to come along as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But these are just the ones that stick out to me when I'm like thinking. But as I look through the floor plan, I'm like, oh, that one's going to be sick. That one's going to be amazing too. So it's we've got a real spectrum of like individuals who are doing like little collections right through to like the eBay and the Whatnot of it. Who the great thing about the likes of eBay is they're going to pull in. They're going to work with all of the exhibitors who are on ground, who most of them are eBay sellers anyway.
Yeah.
But working with them to kind of really support them and provide a bunch of like advice and discounts and all sorts of stuff for the exhibitors as well. So really trying to do flip both sides of the coin, I guess, for the visitors, but also make sure it's a great like networking and community opportunity for those vendors as well.
Now, I believe you guys have just locked in a massive one.
Yes.
So right now, nobody in Australia knows. By the time this comes out, Australia would have known for a week. But I'm going to treat it like an exclusive anyway, because nobody knows right now. So I'll hand that over to you, Brendan.
So we're locked in Tops for the Melbourne event. So they'll be coming over on a 9x6 activation right at the front of the show. This is in collaboration with Fast Break Trading Cards, who are Top's official partner in Australia. So I've been working closely with John, who shout out to John, great guy to work with, and has engineered and brokered this deal, which is absolutely fantastic. But Tops will be coming down. There's more to be announced in the future with it, but they will effectively be doing giveaways, and all the visitors and exhibitors can come and meet the team from Tops as well.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize how important or how big a deal it is to have Tops coming to Australia, because as a store owner, getting their product is not easy, because the American market eats a lot of it up, right? So having Tops come sort of down under themselves and see the demand for what they've got and what they want, I hope it sort of everybody gets to experience probably more than they normally would, but two, it gives an opportunity to continue to grow their brand down here. So there's so many good things to come out of that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I love. I don't think there's a Tops product I don't get behind. Like everything that they do is amazing. Really, really good stuff.
Absolutely. Brendan mentioned the other day that they're also looking at bringing some Australian first releases here as well. So it's like, for us, it's huge. You don't see us dancing around the office when we announce it to our team, but it's very flattering for us to like have that recognition with a brand like that and go, cool, we're on the right track. These guys recognize what we're working on. And also recognize the Australian market, like that this is becoming from what we've heard from a lot of these businesses, probably the second biggest trading card market in the world at the moment is Australia. So, yeah, it's a
exciting.
huge get for us. Yeah, we're just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
We've got some designs on what's next as well, but
keep those ones under the cap for now. I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
for now.
You got to wait till they sign on those dotted lines. So,
Jesse, you spoke before about when you launched middle last year that your floor space sold out. You sold half of it out in 6 weeks. You want to talk a little bit more about, I know you've covered off, obviously, some of the big names are coming, but obviously the vendors are going to make up this show. And across Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, what can you expect walking in? Is there going to be, 75 vendors at the store, at each show? Like, what when people go to Collectfest, what can they expect to see on the ground?
Well, so to go back to when we say we sold out 6 weeks, sold out half in 6 weeks. Sydney, I think we're looking, Brendan, correct me if I'm wrong, about 150 to 200 vendors.
About 150.
Yep. Sydney, we're like, we've maxed out the size that we can rent basically from the convention centre. So we're just going to cram it as full as we can. For Brisbane, we're at probably 140.
Probably about 120 to 140 will be the cap in Brisbane, I'd imagine. So, and we'll sell out long before.
Yeah.
Long before.
But Melbourne is like turning out to be like the pinnacle of it for this year. So,
we are the pinnacle.
It's like the trading card market here is wild. I think with our Melbourne show, we started with one hall at Melbourne Convention Centre, which is, how big's one hall, Brendan? What's the floor space?
It was 2 halls we started with, and it was about 3,000 square meters, and we then added another hall, and then 6 weeks after that we added another hall, so we've got 4 halls there,
which is insane. It's massive.
And it's about 250 vendors there or thereabouts that will be at that show.
And when we say vendors, we're talking stands, not just tables, like full 3x3 minimum 3x3 stands. And I think we worked out our floor plan for Melbourne. We've had to cap it now with trading cards. We're at 45% of the floor plan is just trading cards. And I think we worked out it's like going to be the biggest floor plan or biggest floor space of trading cards of any show in Australia up to this point. So
I believe that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be great. But when you start to get into the scale of how many people and how much space it's going to fill, you do get a little bit of the imposter syndrome in your brain, a little bit going, oh God, this is a lot of people. It's awesome. Yeah, like, ooh. It's great.
It's one of those things where I know, talking to people in the community, sometimes you go and it's like, oh, I really like Magic the Gathering. And you rock up to an event and there's no one selling Magic the Gathering. Or you rock up to an event, you're like, I really like my ice hockey. And ice hockey is quite niche. There's no ice hockey there. So I can safely say that when you go to Collectfest, because everyone watching this podcast is 100% going to be going, there's going to be something there for everyone. And that gets me so excited. I didn't realize that you had 4 of the bays in Melbourne booked out. So I'm already picturing just how big that is.
Yeah. It's to kind of give some scale and size with that as well. Like when we talk about, like Jesse alluded to before, when we talk about 250 vendors, the average stand size is about 20 square meters. So in 20 square meters, if you kind of work it out by tables like other shows do in this space, you could effectively probably fit 4 tables into 20 square meters quite comfortably. And when you have 250 vendors with an average of 4 tables, if that's the way it's set up, you'd be looking at 1,000 tables in that kind of language. So the show's just untaken. It's gone to places where we never imagined it would when we launched it.
Yeah. No, amazing. Melbourne is going to be special, man. Melbourne is going to be special. I mean, we're going all out in Melbourne. You guys, everybody's going all out in Melbourne. Melbourne's Melbourne, you know what I mean? And the exhibition centre is enormous, and it's right on Yarra. It's so easily accessible. It's a beautiful spot. Like, yeah, this is going to be – we Kearns, I can tell you what, like, you better have nothing planned for those at least 5 days, maybe 6 days, 2 days either side, 2 days for the show.
Just recovery time.
No recovery, Jesse. We are going to be flat out. He can recover like a week after. I'll let him take some time off. But in that, those 6 days, before and after and during, we're going to be going just as hard as well because so much faith and excitement in it. Like I don't want to miss a second of it. Yeah.
We'll have to get you guys to the other shows as well. Like Melbourne's definitely going to be the biggest floor plan wise, but we're actively trying to build in like a unique offering in each city as well. You can't make an event like this without someone saying, "Oh, what's going to happen for Brisbane? What's going to happen for Sydney?" So we want to make sure that everyone in Sydney, everyone in Brisbane comes to Collectfest and has a great experience as well. Like it's not a second thought; it's just that Melbourne's gone nuts with it. All 3 shows are going to be amazing. Yeah,
we're actually probably putting more work into Sydney and Brisbane at the moment. So Melbourne's just kind of like literally just taken off. So, and in regards to Sydney and Brisbane, there's still, you're still talking about potentially, 600 odd tables in a show like Sydney, which once again, when you think about like card shows at the moment having 100 to 150 tables, you're talking like 4 to 5 times the size, and then obviously other activations around that. Bigger vendors, a main stage with content where there'll be celebrity guests, celebrity speakers, people from within the hobby speaking on that stage, including Gary, and then a TCG tournament zone, which you guys are running at Luna. So. Yeah.
Luna Cards running the TCG tournament. Then you got the Hobby Podcast bringing Gary in. I'm still waiting for the Jack Boys. Where is it?
You guys were the earliest adopters, to be fair. Like you've got behind it straight away. I made a joke with another card place, and I said that someone goes, "Oh, do you know the guys at Luna?" And I said, "I've probably been to the store about half a dozen times in the past kind of 5 months talking business with them." So
yeah, we appreciate. Like I said, I met you once. Had a good conversation, right vibe. Yep, let's do this. And, the rest is history. So has there been any massive challenge along the way that could have put a pin in it or a roadblock, or has it been pretty smooth sailing because, you guys are seasoned vets?
It's been relatively smooth sailing for what it is, to be honest. So, once again, it's down to the community support and the vendor support that we've had. There's been no massive challenges or roadblocks for us thus far, I would say.
Yeah, probably the dates was probably the hardest one for us. Like when we were originally setting up, just trying to find available times at the venues, because the convention centers, I don't think people realize those things are booked in all year, and if you go and have a show there, you'd assume a show the size of Collectfest, you get a week to bump it in and all that sort of stuff. One day, we're in the night before, bump it in. We've got to bump out by midnight the night after. So it's you really do have to just find a little slot in there that we can work, and it's a great testament to the live events industry in Australia that those venues are booked solid throughout the whole year. It's great to see it all coming back since COVID, but that was probably our biggest challenge, was trying to find that empty slot that we could slide into.
It's probably they're not just booked out for a year; they're often booked out 2 or 3 years in advance.
Well,
we kind of have cemented dates for 26 and 27 already at the major venues across Australia. But when we're kind of looking at dates, there was about probably 80% of next year already booked.
Yeah,
and probably about 65% of 27 already booked. So
well, look, after the resounding success that these shows will be, no doubt you guys will then go and book your dates in for 2-3 years down the track, right?
We've already booked them, mate. It's we are in. Regardless of what happens, this company is behind Collectfest. We're not doing a one and done. The way we've built this show is that if we fill up the floor plan, this is a business that we want to keep running, and we want to make sure that as a community, because it's easy to kind of think that, hey, this is just a one-off thing, but we want to really instill in the community that this is something, we're not just here to make a quick buck. We're here because we want to actually see this be a future for Australia, not just us. the dream that Brendan and I have is that we have Collectfest being something that people want to travel from internationally for. Like, we want to be San Diego Comic-Con or the National in Cleveland, like one of those massive shows for Australia. That's our dream.
Yeah.
Touch wood, we'll get there, but
Well on the way. Well,
yeah, I wanted to get that out there. That is very much like, we're not just looking at just this year. We've got, like Brendan said, we've got 2026 and 2027 dates already booked in. This is happening. We've tied our horses to this one, and we're going. So
absolutely, and we've also got expansion plans into other states potentially as well. So won't mention where, but
you're not supposed to say that bit yet.
But yeah, we do have expansion plans into other states.
I mean, look, everybody's going to assume you would anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's sort of the next thing for you guys to do. Yeah. I will just make mention that the Melbourne show is 5th to 6th July, or the 5th and the 6th of July. The Brisbane show is the 26th and the 27th of July, and then the Sydney show is the 23rd and the 24th of August. Just, I mean, we've rattled that into people's brains through our ad campaign for you guys, but you know, it's worth mentioning that. And I think if one of you guys just want to mention, you know, the tickets, I'd say more for attendees as opposed to vendors. Definitely ticket prices and what they can get and what those sort of look like. I think that's probably a good way to kind of round out our chat on the event itself. Yeah,
well, I mean, we've just launched our GA and VIP tickets, which we're really excited about, especially the VIP tickets. But tickets start $40. And we'll have some affiliate discounts out for you guys. So for your listeners, just hang in there. We'll get you guys sorted out. But yeah, we've got tickets from $40 for 1 day, or you've got $70 for 2 days. So it's a 2-day event. And then we've also got the VIP tickets. They start at $160, but that's for a full weekend. That gets you early access to the show. So the show's open at 10 a.m. VIPs can walk in from 9:30. We've got priority lines for VIPs. We've got automatic entry for both. So if you've got a GA ticket, we've got a bunch of general admission prizes that if you turn up to the show, you're going to get in the draw for, and we'll announce for each city. VIPs have another set of prizes that are exclusively for them, but that gets you into the draw as well. We got a bunch of Grail prizes. So you take your ticket round, go and scan it, and you go in the draw for, I think one of them is from Brendan will be able to correct me, but Taylor Swift signed guitar. Like, there's some pretty huge prizes. Exclusive.
Yep.
And then we've got reserved seating for the VIPs at the main stage with a really great merch pack. So we've got a designer, a comic book designer out of Perth, who's done 3 custom shirts for our show, basically. That's so awesome. If you come to Melbourne, there's a Collectfest Melbourne one, Collectfest Brisbane, Collectfest Sydney. So those will be, you get like a pack with those when you get your VIP ticket as well. And then we're still locking stuff in for those ticket bonuses. So you
set that as a basis, and then you're going to still continue to add to it. Like, that's exciting, man. That's you know, I go to a lot of different conventions or shows at the exhibition center, and you know, GA tickets are usually more than $40. So you know, you guys are great to sort of get it in at that level. You know, I think that'll be well absorbed by the community for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, taking into account current cost of living prices and stuff like that, but your offer, like the value in that ticket, is 10x anything.
But there's small shows that you go to where it costs you $20 and you just get in the door and that's it. And it's like, you know, a lot smaller. So I think a $40 price for a general admission ticket is brilliant. But the value of VIP sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, we've like, again, this comes back to basically marketing to myself. Like, I've tried actively with these tickets to make it something that I would feel comfortable paying that money for. And really, every time Brendan comes to me, I'm like, cool, what else can we throw in these tickets? What else can we throw in? So
they are loaded.
So we've got the tickets up. We're just going to be announcing all the prizes in the next week. So by the time this comes out, they'll be up on the website, collectfest.com.au. So you can jump on there and check out all the prizes and all the inclusions that come with those tickets. But there's still going to be more to come. We've got probably another 3 months still to book stuff in, still to announce stuff. I don't even think we're a quarter of the way through announcing our exhibitors and who's at the show. And I think probably in the next couple weeks after this comes out, we'll be putting up our vendor directory, so you can actually go up and have a look at who's going to be at the show, go and check out their websites, check out their offerings. Everything's up there. We're pretty transparent. We want this to be, we want you to buy a ticket and get what you are expecting.
Yeah,
It's a pet peeve of mine if someone's like, hey, this is an amazing show, and you get there and it's half the number of vendors that you thought it was, and 3 of them are the same person, and it's a whole bunch of Pokemon cards and Funko Pops. So we've really tried to curate this show to make it valuable and make those tickets worth it. So Brendan's done a really great job of filling up some of our categories. But I think the thing that really is going to make this one a special event for those people like me who are interested in multiple areas is that we've put category caps on each category. So once we're full in trading cards, so like Melbourne, there's no more trading cards. The rest of the space is for everyone else. I think Brisbane's almost full on toys and figurines. So once that's done, the rest of it starts to fill up. So we're not trying to just fill it with anyone. We want to make sure it's a really great mix to really represent that proper wider community.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys the floor for a second, just in case there's anything that we haven't mentioned that you feel needs to be said, or if there's anything extra you want to announce that you didn't tell me. I'll completely leave it up to you. Or if you think we covered it all, just
pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
You've let us talk a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole idea. Trust me, I love the sound of my own voice, so I usually talk like nonstop. But I thought this time we'll let you guys do the talking, and I'll just throw in quiffs here and there. And so that seems to have worked. Then, all right. Well, I guess Leroy has put together one of his famous games. It's more just a rapid fire questions, but hopefully some of it stuns you guys a little bit. Lee, I'm going to let you do all of it because I tried to convert the notes and it hasn't worked. So.
Thanks, guys, for going into detail there on the shows. I've learned a lot. We've been talking for months and still picked up a whole bunch of exciting information there. So I cannot wait. But we love to finish the shows off with a bit of a game. And to be honest, sometimes I've nailed it. I've gone 10 out of 10 and I've made the guess like it's been almost the best part of the interview. And other times I've completely flunked it and it's just awkward and shitty. So hopefully this is pretty good. But I've got a few rapid fire questions where I'm going to get you both to just use your name as the buzzer. There'll be a secret prize for whoever wins when we catch up next. Might shout for coffee. And then... And then I'm going to ask you guys 2 more questions. You're both going to answer it. But all right, you guys ready? Do you want to test out your buzzers first before we start?
Jesse.
Brendan.
Jesse's going to nail this.
Before the question even gets out, Jesse.
All right, you ready? How many NBA championship rings does LeBron James have?
Jesse.
Oh, I think Brendan just got in first.
I reckon Brendan got in first too.
I think he just got
There's a lag. There's a lag here.
I knew that'd be it straight away. You were very close, but I was watching. I've got the reaction time of an F1 driver. Sorry, Jesse.
How many has he got?
4.
No, he answered it. He said 4.
Oh, I didn't hear him say 4.
Yeah.
That is correct. Do you know how many he's played in total?
He's played in?
Yeah. How many NBA finals has he played in?
10.
No, mate.
Look at him. He's on it.
Brendan.
You can just ask me NBA questions and I'm fine. Like I'm a fanatic. So
we're trying to tailor those to Jesse, but
that's fine. It's the lag. It's the lag.
It's the lag. All right. My favorite player in the league. I want you to tell me what his jersey number is.
Jesse, 23.
He didn't even say who it was yet.
He gets half a point just because that was hilarious. All right. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Jesse.
Oh, that's quick.
34.
It is 34.
1.5 points then. 1.5 points.
Love it.
I thought you were meaning like the GOAT, and I was like, great. This one's an easy one.
Nah, how can you not love Giannis, like the Greek freak? It's just
legend.
Just to clarify, Jesse, the GOAT is Kobe Bryant, so it's not 23 anyway.
Look, I don't want to hang up, all right? I don't want to hang up. We'll just carry on.
Who won the NBA scoring title last year?
Oh, we got him.
Who won the NBA scoring title last year?
Who even won the playoffs last year?
Scoring title.
Jesse? Was it Giannis?
Nah.
No.
This player has been in the news recently, though.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Luca?
It is Luka Doncic.
was.
Won the scoring title last year.
There we go. Yeah.
Freak.
I was going through thinking,
Takes them to the finals.
You know, that was great. That was humbling because they both said, throw any NBA questions at us, and Kearnzy goes, hold my beer, and then drops
that stumped me.
This player has been traded over 12 times in his career. He's from Germany.
Jesse. Dennis Schroeder.
It is.
It is.
That's quick.
Modern slavery.
Slavery. Do you know where he's currently playing at the moment?
Oh, that's not fair.
Have a guess.
Toronto or somewhere?
No, is he playing for the Magic?
Nah.
He's at the Pistons. He got traded.
Yeah.
He got traded 4 times this year in that last little trade.
I remember that. And it was just after he said that modern slavery comment as well, which was, wild.
But he also has these little spurts of like gets traded and then plays out of his skin, falls off, gets traded and does it again.
Pretty much.
So he's going to be due another trade soon, surely.
All right, I've got a Pokemon one here for you.
Far away.
Who is the very first Pokemon that Ash catches?
Oh,
Jesse.
dear.
Pidgey?
Wrong.
Oh, close but no cigar.
Brendan?
Go.
Butterfree?
Jesse. Caterpie.
Yeah. It becomes Butterfree, but it's
As soon as I said it, I realised as well.
Yeah. The Metapod era of that season was
a point for that
amazing.
or something like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him half a point. The disappointment there. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. The last one. I need you to complete this song for me. I want to be the very best.
Jesse.
No
one ever was.
yeah, nice work.
You can't hijack that, Brendan. Get out of here.
I love it. I don't have the score here, but it's pretty obvious. Jesse took that one out. So
yeah,
I would say it was obvious. It was close. If we give Brendan the half point, for the Butterfree,
then it's about 4 points difference.
I'm not above taking charity, so I mean, give us a point.
I love it. Thanks for that, fellas. All right,
Jesse gets the chocolate, so he gets the bragging rights.
Yeah,
and the coffee with Lee.
And the coffee.
No, that's not a prize. I'm not going to put him through that.
We're going.
No, I'll go for a coffee with you, Lee. We'll leave these guys behind. We'll just go for a coffee.
Yeah. To your shout earlier, like, just want more friends. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, come on.
All right. These questions are for both of you. Jesse, I'm going to start with you. Your all-time starting NBA 5, 1 through 5. What's your starting lineup? Yeah.
All right, let's do positions.
Yeah. Point guard.
Point guard, Curry.
Whoa.
Shooting guard, Ray Allen.
Right. Okay. What a shot, too. What a shot from him in the Miami finals.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The reason LeBron the ring has 4 instead of 3.
Small forward, obviously, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Power forward. Can I put Hakeem?
Yeah,
I think you can.
Yeah, you can put him in whatever position you want. I mean, whether it's going to work or not as an actual 5 is on you.
I feel like power forward and center are arguably the toughest 2 spots.
Center for me is Duncan, hands down. Always Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental. That's my boy.
Wow, love that. Did not expect Duncan there at all. That's a pretty good fight. So, no Magic. No.
I know. Do you know why? And again, I'm going to make enemies here. I just hate the Lakers, man. Just fundamentally,
Kobe's the greatest
spiritually,
player
in my
of all
soul, hate the Lakers.
Kobe's the greatest player of all time.
No shit.
Sorry, he can be in the top 10. Top 10, he gets Laker demerit points. That's it. Like Luca, huge Luca fan.
Yeah.
He's on my shit list now. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm looking forward to Brendan's because I reckon it's going to be better than that.
I'm a Magic guy over Curry for a start. Like I think Magic's the greatest point guard ever. Like there's no two ways about it. Curry isn't a traditional point guard. So I love Steph Curry, but I always hold Magic in higher esteem. Shooting guard, have to go MJ, of course. So there's no two ways about that. That's the obvious one. Small forward, probably showing my age, but Larry Bird in the small forward. So once again, I think his game would have probably translated really well into today's NBA.
Sure, yeah.
So the guy was just an absolute freak. Power forward, the big fundamental, Timmy Duncan at power forward there. And centre, I'm going to go I know this might be early, but I honestly think that Nikola Jokic is going to end up greatest centre in the history of the NBA. He's 30 right now. He's putting up, 29, 12, and 10 on, record, the greatest PER in history, 53-point percentage. I think he's top 5 for steals in the NBA as well. The guy's just an absolute freak. So, but I mean, if I was to go someone besides Jokic, it would probably be, you can go and say, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, but I mean, they're great for their time. But I would have to say it'd have to be probably Kareem or David Robinson or Akeem. Or
Neither of you said Kobe, so I don't give a out either of those starting five. All right,
let's do our starting five. I'm going to put Allen Iverson down for our point guard.
AI.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think AI. I think he should be our point guard. Do you have any rebuttals to that?
No, I'm cool with that.
You cool with AI? We're going to win the cool factor there for sure. Shooting guard. Kobe, do you want to put him at small forward or do you want to put him at shooting guard?
I'd probably put him at shooting guard, to be fair.
I'm happy with that. Small forward. Are Kobe and Jordan going to gel? Like, is it too much? Jordan's defense is elite, though, man.
No, you put both in there.
Jordan, all-time.
I was going to say, AI is not going to gel with any of them.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. But he's going to look sick rocking up to the press.
Exactly.
So we need that.
Yep.
Power forward and center.
Center's Kareem.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar. Yep, hands down.
Okay. I'm happy with Kareem. I don't really have any rebuttals there. And power forward, 2009, Amir Stoudemire. Just that year.
Amari Stoudemire.
Was it 2009?
I played a lot of NBA Live and 2K back then, and Amari Stoudemire was pretty good.
He had a year where
he was pretty good.
Ridiculous. So
he was pretty good.
It's like Dwight at Orlando. Like if you could just grab 1 year, it's like that. But
that 1 year.
No, we can't put Stoudemire in there.
No, let's just throw Jack in there to piss people off.
Shaq.
Yeah,
cool. All right, I like it. Our starting five would destroy both of theirs.
I'm keen for the next
absolutely
question.
not.
The next question is actually really interesting to see where they're going to go with this.
We need to, just to go back to the starting fives, what we need to do is set up those
NBA
teams
Live.
on NBA 2K and actually play against each other. And then that'll be a podcast for
Tell you
you.
what, if anybody's running, you guys can work on this. If anybody's running a video game station at one of the Collectfests, put that to them and we'll do that, record it and make it like an official competition while we're there.
Oh, that's
All
brilliant.
right.
I reckon that's a good idea.
It's on you, man.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Let's do that.
I love that. I've got all their names down. So
We have Kareem, Jordan, Kobe, and AI.
yeah, Curry might be an issue though. Curry in those games is automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's OP, like nuts on 2K.
Did anyone include LeBron?
Nah.
Nah.
We're not a LeBron.
The washed king.
I like LeBron, but
Yeah.
I didn't name. All right, Kearns, last question.
All right, guys. In 2022, Logan Ball spent $5.27 million US dollars on the Illustrator Pikachu. It's a lot of money for a card. If you had $5.2 million, what would you spend that money on?
Oh,
No. What would you buy instead?
What would you buy instead?
It's collectible money, right? You're not going to buy an island, okay? You're buying something.
Yeah. I would go for bulk. So I wouldn't go for one or two grail items here. So I know it'd be tempting to go for a couple of grail items. However, I would go for the coin-wise. I'll do Pokemon and coins. Coin-wise, I would go the entire Perth Mint set of they have like jeweled kind of turtles and jeweled creatures, and they're about like $260,000 a pop.
Wow.
I think they've got a run of about 5 or 10. So I would probably collect that set.
That'd chew up most of it if it's not most of it, I guess, if it's a 10 card.
Yeah.
10 coin set.
Yeah, it would chew up a lot of it. I would probably look at getting something like a base set like PSA 10 all the way across if I could as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just go bulk. So how much would that cost? Like,
you still have money left over, but I would advise you on what you should be picking up.
A first edition 10 Zards was about 400,000, and then you grab the Blastoise, the Venusaur for about 35.
Yeah,
we're talking like about 600 to 700 the whole set.
Yeah, probably something like that. I reckon you've got about two. If there's 10 coins at 2 and 250,
it's about that.
It's about $3 million anyway.
You've still got about $2 million left to spend. So
you would spend that on Pokemon, which is
I'd be spending that on Pokemon.
Sealed boxes.
Maybe sealed boxes. Probably sealed boxes actually.
Yeah, cool. Jesse?
Oh.
I thought he was thinking hard. It looked like he was thinking hard, right? Like
I'm thinking hard because I'm like 5.2 million could go a long way. The things I want to buy, I could buy all of them.
What does something like a Michael Jordan championship ring sell for?
He hasn't given them away, has he? So
he wouldn't. He's never sold one. But like,
if I can buy that, absolutely great. One of the like, if I'm talking speculatively, I would just load up on as much Anthony Edwards rookie cards as I possibly can right now, because that kid is like gonna do something. Give him a couple years, he's gonna be nuts. If I'm going back to like old school stuff, it has to be one of the old original like Panini. Is it Panini, the original like Michael Jordan rookie cards, as whatever era of those ones?
Fleer. Yeah, the Fleer ones.
Fleer, yeah. Those ones, like as many of those as I can. There's hardly any of them left now, but it's got to be one of those.
Yeah,
I could probably do both, to be honest, with $5 million.
You get Jordan's rookies like in Fleer and Star. They're not that expensive. I mean, they are expensive, but you could pick up a whole ton of them.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah. Just suck up the market.
Is there a pair of? I know you used to collect shoes. Is there Jordan shoes? Is there like if there was Michael Jordan's Game 6 shoes went on and they were like 2.5 mil or 3 mil or something?
I'm sure if you buy that for $3 million, Jesse, you would buy that if you had this.
Yeah, I saw there was an auction for a pair of game worn Air Force Ones. Air Jordans that just went recently. Hands down one of those. But then also, like, if I'm going modern era, I'm a real sucker for like the Nike collabs, like the Tiffany's, the any of the Off-White stuff, like any of those, because RIP Virgil, like amazing range of shoes. Like my partner will hate me for it, but like I would stock up on every sneaker I could possibly get, like the Dior's, even the Cactus Jacks, Travis Scott range, like some amazing shoes there that I feel like Nike just pumped them all out and people kind of got swamped by it. And then like 10 years, we're going to look back and be like, whoa, there was some sick shoes that got released here.
Yeah. It's funny that, right? Like, you think it would be easy to speculatively spend $5.2 million on collectibles. And then when you try to do it, you're like, shit, like, no, what would I spend it on?
Because most of the collectibles I'm looking at are between kind of like, $500 to $2 or $3,000 like for an item. So it's kind of like,
I mean,
like, you know what?
I'd almost just buy the same Illustrator. PSA 10, I can buy it off Logan and be like, it's mine now. Yeah. I've got it. So yeah, I don't know.
100%.
Like, it could be spent a lot of ways. But it's been a phenomenal chat, guys. We've soaked up a lot of your time, and we really, really appreciate it. There's some exciting news to come for Collectfest. We dropped a couple of sneaky bombs on Collectfest today. I will mention before we go, the base set box break we're doing with Gary is going to be on the Saturday, I believe, on the main stage, Brendan, at 4:00.
Yep.
Perfect. Got that right. So, this show, the box break probably will already be sold out by the time this show actually airs, because it's going up next week. But yeah, what I can say is there will be 4 packs reserved to be sold right before we break the box. So at the start of the break on the stage, we'll utilize the platform Whatnot, which is what we're running it all through anyway. And there will be 4 packs to purchase. So people that have missed out on the initial lot and will be at the show, you will have a chance to pick up those packs then. So that's going to be massive. It's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, there's going to be some magic. I feel like I should have had the boxes. I could hold it and wait around. I'll give JB a photo. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, so I guess Kearns, is there anything else you wanna add with the boys before we send them back to Collectfest land to keep building the greatest show on earth?
No, mate. I just want to reiterate what you said and how excited I am, and thanks again, fellas, for joining us. Can't wait to explore the world of Collectfest and see it grow. And yeah, we really need to work on getting those other 2 shows, Dino.
Yeah. No, well, with Kearns and I, as you guys know, we've committed to Sydney and Brisbane with you guys as well, and we're excited to see what that looks like, over the journey. But yeah, again, thank you both for your time. It's been awesome fun.
Legends. Thanks for having us, guys. Thanks for scratching our collectible itch.
Yeah,
100%.
No worries, boys. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Chat soon.
See you guys.
The boys, I said it when they were on. I've always been excited for this festival.
Yeah.
I have been excited since the moment we started talks with them. I've been excited to see the shows grow, not only in Melbourne, but also across Sydney and Brisbane. But I picked up more things today that I didn't really kind of comprehend. 250 vendors in Melbourne.
That's gonna be massive. It's gonna be massive. I've been telling people this, and it's gonna be huge.
The thought process around ensuring that there's not too many of the one type of vendor, like 45% of vendors are going to be cards.
Yeah,
and they've got an arrayment of cards different vendors there.
Yeah,
there's also going to be different other hobbies that we're not super a part of.
Yeah,
but at Collectfest we're going to be a part of it.
This event is going to be phenomenal, hands down. That's why we are going all out as the Hobby Podcast. We are going all out as Lunar Cards. Like, it is going to be massive. Just put that into perspective. 250 different vendors trying to see 250 different sellers. Like, that's why it's a 2-day event.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend going both days, but if you can't, you can only make one, then, don't miss out and definitely go at least one day. But yeah, we've got some exciting things to announce. We will be giving away 2 VIP passes to 2 of our lucky listeners. So we will have that in the description. There'll be an Instagram post that goes up about it as well. But yeah, you're not going to want to miss it. Get some free passes, some free VIP passes. We discussed the box break with Gary, the breaks with Whatnot. There's going to be a lot. We're going to do a bit of a, as long as time permits, and it should. We're hoping to have a bit of a roaming Brian situation throughout the event as well. We did that kind of at PAX where we just stop people and just ask them a couple of questions. So that'll be fun. So look out for us doing that. There's going to be heaps. We got some stuff to announce for Sydney and Brisbane. So there's some more stuff coming there. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's probably it for today's episode. I mean, if you're not following us on Instagram, you need to go follow at @the_hobby_pod. We put a lot of info up there. You will miss information if you're not following us there. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, we get thousands of views and we have hundreds of subscribers. So, just get us to 1,000. If you get us to 1,000, we'll give away that prismatic ETB. I'm not going to wait till 2,000. Let's just get to 1,000 so we can monetize the channel. We greatly appreciate that. We never really push that kind of stuff, but it would help for sure. So, Colonel, have you got anything to add?
I just can't wait to meet all the hobbyists out there at these shows. Those that are coming down. You know, like you said, the 2-day event. There's great food in the city of Melbourne, like public transport around, particularly around our city. Like you can just get to and from the event so great. Yeah. Like the weekend is just going to be one to I can't wait for. So
it's going to be huge.
I can't wait to see you all there.
Sweet. All right. Well, that is Wheels Up, and we are out of here. We'll see you on the next one.